the player who knew where I lived, I wasn't planning on playing Roblox that night. It was around 2 in the morning and I couldn't sleep. I decided to open Roblox and join a random game to pass the time. I clicked on a game I'd never played before. It was a small horror game with only 3 players online. The server was almost empty. When I joined, I noticed something strange. The other 2 players weren't moving, they were just standing there. Their usernames were normal enough, but neither of them said anything in chat. I assumed they were AFK. I started exploring the map alone. The game was a dark forest with a few abandoned buildings scattered around. After a few minutes, I noticed a 3rd player had joined. His username was Visitor. Nothing else. Just Visitor. At first, I didn't think much of it. Lots of people have weird usernames. Then he sent a message in chat. "You're late." I ignored it. A few seconds later, another message appeared. "I've been waiting for you." I thought he was role-playing. I kept walking. Then he said something that made me stop. "Nice weather in New York tonight." I froze. New York was the city where I lived. I checked the player list. There was nobody I recognized. None of my friends were online. I typed back, "How do you know that?" No response. Visitor just stood still across the map. Then another message appeared. "I know where everyone lives." I laughed nervously. There was no way. He was obviously trolling. I continued playing. A minute later, my screen flickered. Only for a split second. When the image returned, the entire map had changed. The trees were gone. The buildings were gone. Everything was black except for Visitor standing in the distance. I tried leaving the game. The leave button didn't work. I clicked it again. Nothing happened. My internet was perfectly fine. The game just refused to close. Then Visitor started walking toward me. Slowly. One step at a time. Another message appeared. "You shouldn't have joined." I began feeling genuinely uncomfortable. The game wasn't lagging. It wasn't crashing. Everything was working normally, except I couldn't leave. Visitor continued approaching. His avatar was becoming clearer. His face wasn't a normal Roblox face anymore. It looked distorted, like someone had stretched the image. His smile was too wide, far too wide. Then he stopped, only a few feet away from my character. A message appeared. "Look outside." I immediately looked toward my bedroom window. Nothing was there, just darkness. When I looked back at my monitor, Visitor was gone. The server was empty. I was alone. Then a loud knocking sound came from my headphones. 3 knocks, slow, heavy. The strange thing was that it sounded real. Not like a game sound, like someone was actually knocking on a door. I muted my computer. The knocking continued, this time from somewhere inside my apartment building. I sat completely still, listening. Knock, knock, knock. The sound echoed through the hallway outside. My heart was racing. I told myself it was just a coincidence. Then my Roblox chat updated, even though I was alone in the server. A new message appeared. "Wrong door." I stared at the screen. Another message appeared. "Found the right one." At that exact moment, 3 knocks came from directly outside my apartment. I jumped out of my chair. Every light in my room suddenly felt too dim. I didn't know what to do. I walked slowly toward the front door. The knocking had stopped. Everything was silent. I looked through the peephole. Nobody was there. The hallway was empty. I waited for several seconds. Still nothing. When I finally returned to my computer, Roblox had closed itself. My desktop was showing. I thought it was over. Then I noticed a new text file on my desktop. I definitely hadn't created it. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Inside was a single sentence. "See you again soon." There was no author, no date, nothing, just those 4 words. I immediately shut down my computer and went to bed. The next morning, the file was gone. I searched everywhere. It had completely disappeared. I never found out who Visitor was. I never found out how he knew where I lived. But every few months, I still receive a Roblox friend request. Always from a different account. And every account has the exact same display name. Visitor.